Well, this has been quite the year, 2020. Started out February 7th. We was up to my son's, and I got sick. Came home, I had to shiver so bad I couldn't stand still from shaking so bad. I was that way up at Travis's. I come home. I was that way the next day, and in bed the whole time. My wife got it the next day. I was sick for like 3 weeks with that. Thought I was getting over it and went back and still had it. Well, then after I got over that, my doctor says, well, I think your allergies are flaring up. So I had to deal with that. So I spent about 5 or 6 weeks sick till we got over all that crud. And then the COVID thing hit. And after, what was it, like into March, somewhere when the schools shut down, we started having, wasn't nothing going on here, and the kids were all well, so we started having grandkids. And we'd have them for a week, and we'd have a break. Maybe the next week another group would come. We did that all summer long. Had grandkids. I mean, we got a swimming pool, so we kept that swimming pool busy every day. It didn't matter if it was a cool day or a warm day. They were in there. They wanted to try it. And so we had kids off and on clear up until the first week of August. And then they went home because they had things they wanted to get done too at home and spend time with mom and dad before school got going. And then August 10th, I'm outside, humid as a dickens. I was outside doing chores, checking the chickens and this and that, and I came in the house. I thought, man, it is humid. And as I come in the house, I heard the siren going off. I come in the house, I told my wife, I says, the sirens are going off, dear. And I'm looking at my clock, and I don't remember what time it was. It was 10:30 or 11 or whatever it was. And so we goes and turns TV on, and lo and behold, storms were headed our way. So we started buttoning things down. We had a canopy out on the swimming pool, on the deck. I thought, wonder if I have time to get that off of there. Went out, got that thing off, finished in the rain, got it off, come in the house, and we was in the house a while watching things, looking out the windows, and I was outside walking around. The wind come up, it would let up, it'd come up, it'd let up, and all of a sudden it starts a hitting and raining. And after we'd been into that a ways, tree limbs, first of all, clusters of leaves, just leaf clusters would start falling off and flying all over. And then tree limbs started falling, and then more tree limbs, then big tree limbs and branches. It's like, goodness gracious, what's going on? And that lasted for almost 30 minutes. Just rain like the dickens and blow like the dickens, and we lost electricity. And when that thing got all done, we went outside, and there was just tree limbs everywhere. My neighbor south of me here, his place was an absolute mess. Neighbor north of me, his trees out front were demolished. Our trees in the yard, we got one by the sandbox, and it was just torn to pieces. We got a big one by the swimming pool, and thank the Lord that baby stayed up. I mean, I was looking out the window and watching that while it was a storm, and I was praying like the dickens. It took my antenna and tore it all apart. We got a big tree out front. It just kind of pruned it a little bit, but didn't do nothing. Hit our eave spout on the north porch and tore that up a little bit. Muffed the shingles up a pinch. I took a little siding off on the south side of the house. We have a fenced-in yard. and it just blew that thing all to pieces. Like it's like a 3 foot tall fence with oh, split posts, and then wire on it, and it just laid that stuff over and made a mess out of it. So we've been here 35 years, and we ended up taking it down. My wife was upset because she liked the fence, and it was going to be more of a mess to try to fix the thing, and then to boot through all of this, lumber has just went skyrocket. So you weren't going to get as much fixed as you would have liked to have got fixed because the lumber was so expensive. So it was a few days. My wife called the insurance. It was a few days. They came, looked all over the place, and he says, well, I'll get back with you in a week or two. And it was at least that, and then it was a little bit longer than that. And he had gotten called down to, I think it was Georgia. That's when one of the hurricanes was coming in. So he went down there, and we was talking to him down there, and he was telling us, like here, yeah, we got, our corn was flat. Grain elevators blowed to pieces. Our whole grain elevator up here is demolished. All the bins, everything's just demolished. In fact, now, as I'm doing this, December 6th, they've got it all tore down. Everything's tore down. They put up 2 bins, smaller ones, so they could load them to load out semis. And, they could unload people, then they could load their semis out to take it over to the bigger elevator where they didn't get no damage to unload it over there. But as you drove around here from we're in central Iowa, clear to eastern Iowa into Illinois, but you got over around Cedar Rapids and over there, and they had over 100, and I think I had heard 10 or 20 mile an hour winds, and it took buildings over there and stuff. We lost a lot of machine sheds and stuff here, but we lost oodles of grain bins. You'd come to some of your elevators just completely gone. Bins it just collapsed them. I think if they had grain in them, they might have lost the tops. If they didn't have grain, it just collapsed them, just pushed them in like you'd stepped on them. And so that's the way most of it was here. Lots of damage. Lila and I, we were fortunate that we didn't didn't have any broken windows, I don't believe. We had houses that blew garage doors in and then blew the whole garage just all to pieces. And no, we were very fortunate, thankful for that. But that thing raged on. Then my daughter in Des Moines, down at Ankeny, Urbandale, Tammy, she came up that same day, brought a generator with her. Her husband come with her, and we hooked that baby up and got it running after a bit. And that run for 128 hours straight on. We didn't have electricity. We run that generator so we could run the freezers, run some fans, and then we'd go uptown. Some of the city folk was putting on a meal. You could go up there and eat, and put donation in, but it was air conditioned. They had a big generator hooked up, so it was air conditioned, which was a lot because I can't stand when it gets so hot and humid and stuff. But anyway, we started that afternoon of the storm cleaning up, worked on our place, went over to my neighbor George's, and he has an M tractor, and I'd bought that from him. So we got it out, cleaned his place up, which was a mess. He's got pine trees, was a mess. Cleaned his place up, went over to the other neighbors over here. They had a mess. We helped them and got them cleaned up pretty good. And then went down to my neighbor south of me. His trees, his place looked like a forest. And we worked there all the rest of the day working on his place. And then went there the next day and started in again. Got him finished up. If we drug the trees to the road, the city said then they would pick them up. So we drug everything to the road, and had another lady up in this southwest of us here. She asked if we'd help her a little bit. So we went over there and cleaned trees out of there. There were some other folks there. We went across their property, so being we used their property, we pushed their trees out to the road to kind of help them out. I don't think they even know who did it because they weren't home. But then there was other places we just took and pushed trees back. This town, they're still cutting trees down. They marked trees that were marked as hazardous, dangerous, could still come down. And just today, still cutting trees down. And they're cutting trees. Some of these trees, they look like nice trees. You know, the bases are solid. This had been a perfect year. If anybody gets cold this winter because they don't have firewood for a fireplace, boy, that's their own fault because they're firewood out the wazoo, I tell you that. But I realize everybody's busy. But I'd love to have a sawmill slabbing some of this wood. I think that'd be so cool. But because there's just all kinds of trees that don't, you know, every kind of tree there is we've got here. But you look out now, and it's sad because all you see is daylight, which daylight's good, but there's no trees. Everything's gone. I mean, we look like, I don't want to say blowed up, but we look up a mess. But I mean, it's cleaned up, but I mean, we look a mess as far as trees go. Just riddled, beautiful trees. So they're all tore down, and shoot, there's people that still have their roofs tarped. They can't get the carpenters. And it's been one dickens of a year. And then we get into all this election stuff. Black Lives Matter and everything else. Throwing a fit over this and that. Had a fella got killed up in Minnesota by police officers. And that's all it took to get things out. They burnt that town to pieces. St. Paul started fire, started rioting. Of course, then the governor, they wouldn't let the police do nothing. Oh no, can't do nothing, don't want to hurt nobody. So they just let them burn the buildings. Well, that went from city to city to city to all over our country, burning. Well, the interesting thing is, this was Democratic cities where the governors were Democrats. You know, imagine that. Why would you want your city destroyed? Well, the biggest thing is, President Trump is our president now. They don't like President Trump. They've been throwing a fit for 3 years, trying to come up with this and that and everything. They need to look in their own backyard because their backyard is full of nothing but sin, pure hatred for everybody. They don't even like themselves, I don't think. But it's just been that way. Then this corona thing and all this, you know, they want you to wear a mask. They don't want you to wear a mask. It's this and that, and they're scaring people to death. Everything that gets happened, someone gets killed in a car accident or something, if they're doing an autopsy and they find out they've had COVID, oh, we mark it down as COVID. Flu. They don't even talk about flu this year. It's not even mentioned. So everything is COVID. And John Hopkins come out with a thing. They took the number of deaths, total deaths in the United States from a year ago, marked that number, took the same time of period up until now, and the numbers are basically the same. Does that tell you anything? I mean, oh no, Democrats don't think nothing. I mean, whoa, you know, they're always fussing about this and that. And everybody's just gripes about, you name it, they're griping about it. They don't like this. Then we do the election. Then they take and mess the elections up. They cheat on it. They got caught at it. Oh, no, we didn't do nothing wrong. You know, so whether or not we're praying, or I'm praying Trump stays in as president. He's the best president we have ever had. They talk about Abraham Lincoln. Well, he had some shady things, but Trump has done more for Israel. I mean, the economy is the highest it's ever been in United States history, and they still gripe. They gripe if you fed them with a gold spoon and told them they could keep it. But they just complain. But here we are now. We're coming into it still. We haven't had much snow to speak of, some flurries. And so far, we're just marching on, so we'll see what the year brings. And we're into, like I said, December 6th. So we had Thanksgiving last week. Two of the families couldn't come. And so it was just the three of us. It was still several of us. But we was able to get together and share it and spend time just thankful for being alive, thankful that we know the Lord Jesus Christ is our Savior, and our hope is in Him. That's why I voted for Donald Trump. Yes, I did, and I'd vote for him again. Even if the guy's got some faults, his bedside manner, like a doctor, is not the best, but he delivers on what he says he's going to do. And these other ones, they have all their promises and they hit hardly any of them. We haven't had a war since he's been in office. I mean, nevertheless, that could change tomorrow. Any of these other presidents, they go over there, they buy off the other countries. Oh, please don't hurt us. We'll give you X amount of billions of dollars. Leave us alone and we'll do this for you. And just weenies. Men with, well, they're not, I wouldn't call them a man, I guess. They're cowards. They're just scared to death, want to be president, but don't want to do nothing. And so the one that's running now, old Joe Biden, yep, he thinks he's president and he's doing all this stuff. And sadly, the man has got memory issues. He forgets where he's at. He forgets his wife's name. He forgot here a while back. He thought he was running for Senate. I mean, and they want him for president. Can you believe that? Well, see, he won't be he'll be president, and then Harris lady, she'll hops in there, and then she will be the first female president. I have nothing against a female president. And then she will also be the first female of color. Well, she likes to say she's black. She's not black. She's Indian and maybe white or whatever, but she's not black. As if it matters. She's just a woman of color, which, that's a first too. But that's just their plan. They're wanting her in there. They knew old Biden wasn't going to be able to hack it in there and last long enough because he's just, 78 years old. And the man's had health issues and he's still having health issues. And, I don't wish that on anybody. I mean, it's sad. He forgets this and that and don't know what he's doing, and he just kind of a little puppet's what he is. He's just doing what they're telling him to do to march on, because you've got all these other head lady Democrats and some of the guys that keep feeding him so he'll keep going, and they're causing more trouble than anything else. But okay, well, get off of that. They're trying to decide who's going to be president because the votes didn't make sense. But here we're on December 6th, so Lila and I back, I think it was first part of August. Let me jump back to that a minute. We got the east side of the house, we got siding put on. We started some of it the year before. We finished putting the siding on. Then we got it painted. The weather was talking good, and the Lord gave us a month of good weather. So we got it painted. Got it all sealed up, put brand new windows in the east side. My son-in-law helped me a little bit on the siding and stuff, which was a great help because it's not a one-man thing, that's for sure. The siding we put on a hardwood. It's not a hardwood. It's got asbestos cement and like tar or stuff to hold it together. It's got a name, but I can't think what it is. But they come in 12-foot sections, so they got some weight to them. So, you got to have help with that or they'll break. And so we got all them up. I got everything decorated now for Christmas. Got snowmen up, lights up. Just put some more lights up yesterday. My wife put some lights up today. So we've been busy. Oh, and on top of that, the man I bought the tractor from, George, he had to go in for hip surgery. He's an elderly man, but he's been active. and he got himself hurt a little bit, and it was bothering him. Well, it was his hip. So they got all checked out. Yep, you're capable for a hip. So it was all in okay to do it. He got that done, was it September 13th or October 13th? Anyway, he got that done. Felt great the next day. Didn't have no pain. The man's been home now. He was in a nursing home here in town, just basically to get his muscles back in shape. And so he's home now, and people go over and watch him. I go over every day, usually in the afternoon, help him with lunch, take him lunch if he needs it. But Lila and I mowed his yard last year because he couldn't mow anymore, so I took care of that. Kept his birds fed. He's a bird lover. So I had to keep water in well, I think there was 5 or 6 different places for to water the birds. So keep his birds watered for him. And just doing all little odd jobs that he can't do. But anyway, here the last week, he's been getting out and doing some walking. And he wants to get out and walk. And in the hospital, they wouldn't let him walk as much as he wanted to. And so he's been walking. He walks from his place down to the creek, which is, oh my, it's probably a half a mile. He started out smaller than that, but he's increasing, and now he's done that 2 times now. I did it yesterday with him. He did it today with another gal. So the old boy, he's out, he's getting his exercise, and I told him, I says, just make sure you don't overdo it. You don't want to get yourself hurt and set you back, and you got to start all over again. Because he's all alone. His wife passed away, I think he said 6 years ago. So he's home alone. And him and his cat, Mr. Kitty. This kitty probably weighs 15 pounds. And he's long hair. George has got a name for it. I don't know what it's called, but he's got long hair. And so we watched that cat while George was in the hospital. And just taking care of him and doing things here at home, and got the chickens and cleaned the shop out after throwing stuff in there all fall here when we was working on the house. Got the north side kind of organized. I got to do the south side yet. Today or yesterday I took and cleaned out the gutters, turned all the leaves and cleaned the leaves out of the gutters, because they had, from when the trees lost their leaves and the wind blew, it blew just perfectly so I could fill my gutters up. And so we got them all, or eave spouts and everything, gutters and eave spout, got them filled up, got them cleaned out yesterday, so I need a little rain now to flush them out. And got the garden tilled, got that fence all taken down that I told you got demolished. Got it taken down, put up a little fence, some posts in the ground, so we could hang wires around there. So Lila still has her little fence in a way to hang lights on. So we've got that. And and we got a little kitty cat, showed up a couple months ago. Poor little fellow was he is almost dead. Bones was showing, and it walked crooked, and so we started feeding it. And I've never been a cat person, but this little guy, in fact it's a little girl, so I call her Miss Kitty. George's cat is Mr. Kitty, so I thought, I'll call my cat Miss Kitty. She got one eye. She's evidently been in a fight or hurt it on something, so the one eye is it's there, but it's damaged. I'm pretty sure she don't see out of it. If she does, it's foggy. But she's the sweetest little thing. She plays out here on the porch, and she bangs around at this and bangs around at that. You got to put stuff up because she gets so excited she knocks it over. She comes in the house now and then. I carry her. We don't let her run. Lila says, no cats in the house. Don't want no cats in the house, because she sheds just a pinch. I mean, she sheds a little bit. I mean, we probably shed as much as she does. But anyway, she's out here on the porch, and I got a little house for her. First house I made her, she outgrew. So I had to be able to get her another house. Well, this house, I took and I put a wire in the top of it with a light bulb so that she's got some heat in there. Because it'll get down below freezing out there on that porch because it's insulated. It's right on the side of the house here. So she's out there, and we've got little num-nums for her, to keep her happy, and she likes her meow mix. And we had to take her to the vet like a week after we got her, or 2 weeks after we got her. She was doing a lot of sneezing and found out she had ear infection. So give her some medicine for that. Give her some medicine for fleas. She didn't have any, but she's had them because the poops were there from the fleas. Little black, looks like little black nits or whatever you call it, but that was the poops, I guess. So give her medicine for that. She's been doing pretty good. She gets the sniffles every now and then, but Mr. George's cat, Mr. Kitty, he gets the sniffles too. So, but she likes to play in tree leaves. So maybe she's allergic to dust and stuff. That's very possible. But and then one day she goes out in the chicken house. Now, I didn't realize she got in there. She come in behind me. I was getting the eggs, and I got the eggs, and she got by me, and I grabbed her. I said, "Miss Kitty, you get back here." She went over by the door. Of course, the chickens that were in there, they weren't doing too bad. They were looking at her and on the roost and watching her. She went outside, and I thought, oh, my goodness, because there's chickens out there. I didn't hear too much, and I thought, oh, my goodness. So I was going to go around the other way and go get her. Before I could get out of the chicken house, she came back in. When she poked her head in, oh, my goodness, all chickens broke loose. Dust was flying. I mean, it was a fiasco. I had to grab her. I Miss Kitty, get out of here. So I got her out of there. Well, this happened then again one other time. This time she did make it clear outside. Chickens was having a fit. I thought it was funny as the dickens. I was coming in the house. I think I laughed in the night even. I was telling my wife about it, just the hilariousness of it. I said, it was, the chickens, they went nuts, and Miss Katie, she was kind of wondering, what do I do? What do I do? I'm thinking, well, first of all, we got to get out of here, before they send the troops in. So, but she goes out there and she wants to go in. If she does get in there, she jumps in a nest right away, jumps in the chicken nest. I told my wife, I said, I wonder if she could sleep with the chickens. Well, she probably could sleep with them, but there probably wouldn't be no chickens in the chicken house. They'd all be outside. But what a character. But she's outside here, and she's a little sweet pea. But okay, well, I've been talking here for 28 minutes, and I don't know how long this thing records before it shuts off or whatever. I don't know. So I better clear off. So we've got a few days left, and this year will be, got Christmas coming up, the Lord's birthday, and my oldest daughter has a birthday the 31st. Got a birthday party tomorrow for a granddaughter. It's been a busy year. This is just as if I had a full-time job and half the night job. Well, and I don't sleep a lot of times at night because right now it is 1:45. So I might go to bed and then I'll wake up and then I'll get up at 5 o'clock. But okay, well, I'm going to sign out here, and I'll think of something to talk about again some other time. Grandkids like it when I make little videos like this and put them on YouTube, and then they watch them and then they laugh about them and they like them because I think they're my only subscribers. But anyway, okay, well, God bless all of you, and hope you have a good day tomorrow, and well, a good day every day, not just tomorrow, good day every day. Thank the Lord that He's in control. So thanks again, and we'll talk with you later.